Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 21st of September. So what have we got today? Well, euro dollar, pound dollar. Well, we'll start looking at the euro dollar. Euro dollar's so close to those prior highs there. Now we've broken through the intermediate highs pretty strongly yesterday, I may say, and it looks like we may actually well, we're just into the monthly R1 and that prior high there. Now if we're going to see a pop over there, we'll possibly see it soonish. It's consolidated here throughout the Asian session on the 4-hourly chart here. The daily, I'm looking at the 60-minute chart here with daily pivots on here, and well, the daily pivot's way below at the moment, but that's it's just running properly into that monthly R1 at this point here. But it looks like it's going to pitch. It may just pitch above, but it's early morning, so do I trust it? Not really. We'll see what happens. Now there is a possible retracement potential with the daily pivot below us, or even the 60-minute 21 hasn't been hit for a while, so there's always that potential that they may draw back towards that sort of mean regression sort of move. But we'll have to wait and see. At the moment I'd rather be bullish on these markets than bearish, but I can't be, for an intraday point of view, I don't want to be buying at a top here, or what is potentially a top. Yes, it may carry on running for another 100 pips, but I need to buy at a discount, so I'm waiting for a retrace if I do get long. Preference now at the moment the 60-21 probably. There may be shorter time moving averages that give us opportunities though. So still bullish, but wary of this, as I say, whether it's just a sort of a fake out this morning and we will see a correction. So we just need to wait and be patient. There is news out on the euro this morning, two lots of news in fact. We've got well, I say two lots of news, it's the same news. We've got the French and German PMI data coming out this morning, so that's due out at 8:15 and 8:30 respectively, French and German. So that's the manufacturing and services PMI data. Then at 9 o'clock we'll have the whole of the European figures released. All the other data is released, but it has less effect, to be fair, in between that time. Now then other news this morning, we've got the UK public sector net borrowing. Should have said public sector sets borrowing, but it is the public sector net borrowing as it happens. So that's at 9:30. And then for any Canadian dollar followers, at 1:30 we've got the inflation data coming out and retail sales, so could be quite a bit of volatility around about 1:30 for the Canadian dollar. But in all other respects, one thing to bear in mind is quadruple witching even today. This is where we see the market index futures, market index options, and stock futures, they're all expiring today. So plus the usual expiry of some forex options. So all in all, it could be an interesting day in the stocks, and I know a lot of that's stock fired, but it can often have an effect on the currencies as well. So wary of that. Okay, right. Let's move on. That's the news. And the euro. Let's get on and have a look at the pound. So the pound had a solid up day yesterday, continued pushing up through some key moving averages, but again through the daily 100 there. It's pitched into its weekly R2. Now this could be a bit of a stifler. It seems a little bit slower this morning than the euro in terms of trying to push up further. It's had, I mean, fantastic move ups and over the last well, a couple of weeks here nearly. It's 2.5 weeks it's had to shove up for. He says we've already got it back down to its daily pivot. That's ticked off the box. We'll see how it goes. I'm wary of it just putting in a lower high coming up here. If it does, if it pushes back down towards that 34, I'll be wary of it. It may be on the shorter time point of frame worth looking at a buy potentially. It's of course it hasn't put a higher high in here. It's sort of stalled a little bit, so just have to watch the price action. But if all goes well, and it may be a reversal. Otherwise, I just need to wait until post 8 o'clock. If the euro starts selling off and the pound starts following it, well then it's confirmed a lower high in this, and I've just got to be a bit more patient then. It's a bit of a messy movement. It had a strong old upshift yesterday. There's no great news out there to determine why it should be shoving up again today at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Dollar yen. The Japanese Bank of Japan has made some adjustments overnight and buying less bonds, reduced the bond buying program. We've seen the yen move upwards, soften against the US dollar there. There's other comments as well, which should be strong yen, but in terms of meetings with Trump's men and so, but it's not really doing a lot of good at the moment. It's continuing to shift up, which will make the euro yen look particularly strong at the moment. If you're trading that pair, I'm not going to run into it right now. Okay, that's the yen. So at the moment, really retracements for longs at the moment. Now we could at some point see a break, maybe a break at that 60-minute 8 would see us correct. Of course, we've got the daily pivot below, but it doesn't look like it wants to give back too much at the moment. Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, okay, one of our traders this morning spotted the close proximity of the daily 50. Now this may well provide some resistance. We have touched it before, to be fair. What do we expect in terms of retracements? We'll have to wait and see. At the moment, the Aussie dollar's been pushing up pretty well. It was pushing up even when some of the other markets were having a bit of a retracement. If you look at the movement though, it's probably just gone up and up and up and up, and you do think, well, okay, it had a bit of consolidation back for a short while there. Maybe we'll see a bit more consolidation. It's almost wanting to come back towards its daily pivot, but even if it did, it's not really phasing the overall trend that's sitting there at the moment. So we'll see. It may, as I say, may have an effect for that daily 50, but beware of the strong trend that's running through it at the moment, and the softer US dollar in general. Okay, and finally the Canadian dollar. So remember, news for the Canadian dollar at 130. He says as he waits for the data to load up here. Okay, so the Canadian dollar down to its monthly S1. I was talking about it so many times this week, that 200's drawing it down, but whether it actually gets that far, we'll see. It's just sitting, as I say, into the daily S1. It's consolidating where it is, so maybe just waiting for another pitch down there. It's through its daily pivot. It was a bit of a choppy old day yesterday, but did make new lows. We've got to just watch, make sure it doesn't break through the daily R1 today. If it does, that's turned. That's a probably early turning signal, higher low coming in. So we just need to watch for that. But if it can hold its own, technically speaking, maybe a run into that 60-50 may just see it have chance of some resistance again. But again, as with the Aussie dollar, that's been hit a couple of times before, so it may not have a major effect on it, but we'll see. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.